All right, welcome back, everybody. Oh, cough off the rip. Not great. We're back, everybody. Episode 39, 2 episodes in a row again this week. Recap episode was yesterday. Great episode. Those of you watching on the YouTube, hello, how are you? Great to see you guys. Um, Previews. Giving picks and previews this week again. The slate for college football is not as great on paper, but that's usually when we see the most chaos in the best games. NFL kind of the same way, but the NFL, you don't know what's going to happen every single week. Now, I'm going to start off by going off of my picks. I tracked the past couple of weeks. Guys, I hope you've been tailing my just winners because in college football, I'm 20 and 19 so far. Last week, I went 4 and 0. And in the NFL, I am 10, 9 and 1. So we're above 500 on all of these guys. I told you guys I was going to make progress to get back, and we did. Okay, so I'm hot. I'm red hot. I'm feeling pretty good right now about this. Phone keeps falling. It's falling every damn time. Um, we're back. We were red hot, and we're going to continue staying hot. All right, first game: Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 5.5 point favorite. Over under is 54.5. Ole Miss is averaging 493 points per game, number 5 in the nation, with 304 passing yards a game and 9.6 yards in the air per attempt. Got announced today that Trinidad Chambliss is going to be starting today, is going to be starting this weekend. I didn't think that was even really a question, but I guess with Austin Simmons available now, it was, just had to be clarified. But he has passed for 1,500 yards this season on 8 touchdowns and 1 interception. The 1 interception is a great stat, is something that's kind of overlooked. They've allowed their offensive line has allowed just 7 sacks on the season. They're tied for 15th in the country, and their defense has been playing well. It's been playing a lot better than an Ole Miss defense that we have seen. Now, last week against Georgia, you see they got a lot of yards put on them, but they're leading the country in total defense. Well, not leading the country. They're among the top. They average only 213 yards per game given up, and they get 4 sacks a game and 10 tackles for loss per game. So their defense is playing really good. We know they can score. We know they can play really well. This is another tough road to test for Ole Miss, and they go into a place like Norman, which is a tough place to play. Now the Sooners, on the other hand, they defend really well. They are only allowing 82 first downs in their first 7 games. They limit passing yardage to only 132.6 per game through the air. Against the spread, Ole Miss is 1-4 against their last 5 road games, so they are not a great against the spread team on the road. And Oklahoma has gone under in each of its last 5 games. So I think this will be a defensive battle. I think so. I think we're going to see what we're not expecting in that. I think the Ole Miss defense is going to come to play. I think they're really going to come to play. I think we're going to see Trinidad Chambliss play really well. Ole Miss is a good team. They're still just not at that point of trusting yet. And I think after getting the win last week against South Carolina for Oklahoma, you have John Mateer coming back. The defense is still playing really well. You kind of get your groove again in this game, and I think Oklahoma wins this game. I don't think they cover though, but I think they're going to win this game for sure. They win this game and take the under in this one, and take Ole Miss for covering. But Oklahoma wins this one. Next game, this is game day. Going to Vandy for game day. Missouri at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, number 10 in the country, is a 2.5 point favorite. The over-under is 52.5. I love the over for this game. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I love this over. I'm going to take it. Mizzou's offense averages 487.3 yards per game, top 10 nationally, and 39 points per game. Their rushing attack is really strong as well, led by Ahmad Hardy. They average 245 yards per game, which is 7th in FBS. Defensively, they've been playing okay. Their total defense allows 239 yards per game, and they allow just 79.7 rushing yards per game, which is 3rd in the FBS. Bo Perbula is a name that isn't really been talked about a lot, and he was starting to get talk around the Alabama game. Then when he lost to Alabama, It all kind of stopped. It all just kind of it all just kind of stopped there. But I don't think it should be. He's passed for 1,600 yards this season with 11 touchdowns and 7 interceptions with a 70% completion percentage. Ahmad Hardy, who I mentioned earlier, their running back, is uh, I would say the best running back in the SEC. Has 840 yards on the ground, 11 touchdowns on just 139 carries. So their rushing attack is a main part of their game, especially with them. I mean, with them on Hardy right there, you're going to keep him there. You're going to keep him being that the main focus for this offense. But Bo Prabula can also run the ball too, and he can throw the ball too. Those stats back it up. Now Vanderbilt, they're playing some elite ball right now. I talked about it last night. They're playing great. Vanderbilt offensively is averaging 41.4 points per game. That's eighth nationally, and 457 yards per game, which is 25th nationally. That's that's not true. There's no way. That's a bad stat. I got a bad stat there. There's no way. Their passing averages around 245 yards per game. They're rushing with 213 per game, and all this is led by Diego Pavia, who has 1,500 yards passing on the season, 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and is also at a 70% completion rate. Uh, his rushing as well, he's got 438 yards for 4 touchdowns on the year. Defensively, they allow just 92.1 rushing yards a game. Total yards is about 315 on average. Now, their primary receiver that they go to a lot is Eli Stowers, their tight end. 28 catches for 355 yards this year with 2 touchdowns. Vanderbilt is humming. Vanderbilt is, you could say, the hottest team in college football right now, especially in the SEC. Well, sorry about the yawning. I don't know if I'd say the SEC because I think Bama is the hottest team in the SEC, but I mean they're a close second. They're right there behind Bama. They're a very good team. They are. Um, you just saw it right there with the stats that are backing it up. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. I think it's going to be a points fest. Okay, I think that Bo Prabula and Diego Pavia are going to be trading shots each game, not only in the passing game, but I think both these quarterbacks are going to be really good in the run game this week. I'm again going to take Vanderbilt -2.5, and I'm taking that over, like I said. We got some betting stats here as well. When Vanderbilt is a 2.5 point home favorite, the under has hit in six out of 7 occurrences. So Missouri has gone 8-1 straight up in their last 9 versus Vanderbilt, but their against the spread is weaker, and it's just 4-5 in that span. Missouri is one of the best teams in the country on converting on third downs. I just get that pop up. Got to pop up on my computer. Missouri is one of the best teams in the country is converting on third downs, third and fourth downs. 55% and better for both of these for them on both of those downs. I think it's going to be a points fest. I think Vanderbilt's going to win this game. I could see this being an overtime game. I think this is going to be a really great game. It's going to be the best game of the day. Vandy hit it out. Game day hit it out the park with this one. I wonder who they're picking for the guest picker. Is it going to be a Nashville celebrity that's not even doesn't have any ties to any school? Probably so. They're probably going to fly in the Rock for who knows. Game day has died. Game day is giving second chances to all these kickers for the students every single time. Doesn't make it as special anymore when you give it a second chance each and every time. And bring on a celebrity guest picker who has ties to the school. You can't just bring on fat-ass Jelly Roll every time. And Theo Vaughn, I like Theo Vaughn, but fat-ass Jelly Roll, he had no ties to Ole Miss or Georgia. Figure it out. I had to go on a rant right there. But I'm taking Vandy. Vandy wins by 3, and I'm taking the over in this game. All right, next game, A&M at LSU. LSU's a 3.5 point favorite. What? No way. What? I got to check this. No. Well, that was stupid. That was stupid of me. Texas A&M is a 2.5 point favorite at LSU. The over-under is 47.5. take the under for this game. This is going to be a defensive battle. A&M does have a very good offense, though, and it's led by Marcel Reed, who has thrown for 1,700 yards on the season with 15 touchdowns and 4 interceptions so far. The running back is that Ruben Owensill has produced 396 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on 70 carries. Their leading receiver, Mario Craver, has 668 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. And defensively, they've been good, but there are some holes, right? There are some holes. And in the rushing game, in their pass defense, they're ranked 38th in pass and 22nd in rush. So not the tip of the top of the country in defense from what Mike Elko has produced before, but they show flashes where they are that good. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back again for them and they're able to be successful in that defense again. Marshall Reed's been playing really good. I keep saying it. Texas A&M is a team that we are not talking about enough, and I think they're just going to keep getting better and better each week. But if there was a game that they were going to lose, it's a game like this. Everyone's counting out LSU. LSU is either going to get beaten by 45 points or going to win this game in a walk-off. That's how these LSU night games go against a team that they should not be competing with. And I feel like that might happen in this game. I feel like it might happen. LSU, their offense, we know it has not been very productive. Garrett Nussmeier has thrown for 1,600 yards with 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Caden Durham is a part of the LSU running game that just hasn't been there this year. It hasn't been a factor. He's got 342 yards so far, and it's the main concern. And a lot of this falls on the offensive line too. But hey, Brian Kelly, you said you were always going to have great offensive lines. Where is it this year? It's nowhere to be seen. Their strength is on defense for LSU. They allow 189.6 passing yards per game, and what they like to do is kind of create that tempo to be a lot slower, which every defensive team does. They want to have a slower tempo going at them so they can process things better. But their defense wasn't playing great. It didn't play great last week. Last week was the first game I could probably say that they didn't look strong. Like, even in that Ole Miss game, they got turnovers, so they were active. It's just their offense couldn't match with what Ole Miss was having to score, and they couldn't, win the game by themselves. Series context here: LSU leads all-time matchup with Texas A&M 32-24-3 at home in this rivalry. No, not at home. At home in this rivalry, they've been very tough, and LSU has won most of their games here. I think they might be undefeated. LSU is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 meetings versus Texas A&M, including 5-10. Here it is, 5-0 against the spread at home in this series in the last 5 games that have been played at home. A&M has been successful, but covers less than one might expect given their record. In their last 7 games, they're 3-4. All of this to say, we could see a lot of crazy shit happen in this game. We could see LSU upset and win this game. We could see A&M beat the brakes off of them. We could see LSU beat the brakes off of A&M and just have a crazy game out of nowhere because their backs are against the wall. I think we're going to see the latter. I think we're going to see A&M beat the shit out of LSU because I think this is the camel that breaks the straw's back. I think I used that phrase right. I hope I did. I think this is going to be the game that opens up the floodgates, and people are just like, it's not Brian Kelly. Like, we know it's not Brian Kelly. We know the fit is not Brian Kelly, but they can't do anything about it right now. I think this is going to make everyone realize, like, it's going to be a clear and open and shut case. He's not the guy, and we have gotten ourselves into a shitty position if you're an LSU fan. Most of them are going to realize it after this. I think the head officials will realize it after this. Boosters will realize it out of this. We'll see what happens, but I've got A&M winning this game. I think Marcel Reed and his running ability is going to be too much for this defense. And I honestly think, too, that the defense for A&M is going to be the key factor to win this game because Nussmeier doesn't look himself this year. He doesn't. He's not been accurate. And it doesn't help that the LSU rushing game has not been great either. So I'm putting it all on A&M. A&M wins this game. Yeah, tough for LSU, but you got to figure some things out here. All right, last college game. Damn, I'm kind of moving fast as hell. I'm moving really fast. Jesus. Sorry, guys. I'll slow down here. Oh, it's all falling. My phone's falling again. All right. BYU at Iowa State. BYU at Iowa State. This is a great game. Um, BYU comes into this game undefeated. The over under for this game is 48.5. I love that over because these teams can score. I'm trying to find the spread right here because I forgot to put the spread down for this one. My apologies, everyone. The spread for this is Iowa State minus 2.5. Holy shit, I'm about to money line BYU. BYU's winning this game. BYU is winning this game. They're a great team, but I'll talk about Iowa State for a little bit because they have been a competitive team. Rocco Beck has 1,600 passing yards on the year with 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions through 7 games. The running back Abu Samal has 481 yards on 92 carries with 4 touchdowns this season as well. And they also have even more running back depth with Carson Hansen, who is returning from a concussion. But when both Sama and Hansen both carry for 10 plus each, they're 3-0 this season. So that could be a huge thing for them. They come into this game after consecutive conference losses and a bye week, which the bye week is going to help them. Of course, it's going to help them with Carson Hansen getting healthy. But you're going into a game against a red hot BYU team who's at the top of the Big 12, who are a perfect 7-0 on the year and 4-0 in the Big 12. And Bear Brockmeyer has been playing out of his mind this season for BYU, even though he wears number 47, which is, can we just make that not a thing? Can we outlaw that? I don't want these guys wearing, I don't want quarterbacks wearing numbers that are higher than 19. 19's even weird. Like if you see a quarterback with number 19, that's really strange. I'm trying to find my stats here. Yeah, Bear Brockmeyer has 1,300 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Their running back, LJ Martin, has been good as well. He's got 4 touchdowns on 127 attempts with 774 yards. And their leading receiver has been Chase Roberts here with 463 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 24 receptions here. This is going to be a game that is going to remind us how wide open the Big 12 is and how much chaos there is constantly in the Big 12, because Iowa State isn't, especially a home game for Iowa State, they're not just going to lay down in this game. They're a competitive team. This is a team that has been ranked in the top 25 a good portion of the season, except for these back-to-back losses in that bye week. But they have been competitive in every single game this year. The game against Cincinnati wasn't a good one. I know that, but they have competed and they've played really good. So they're not a bad team at all. At all. You're just facing a BYU team who is red hot, a BYU team who has a quarterback who can sling the ball, a defense that looks like they are just playing as one right now. They're flying around the ball. You watched the Holy War last week against Utah. It seemed like BYU was just in control of that game the entire time. Like Utah would score, but there really wasn't a doubt. There really wasn't, because BYU looks a lot different here. But this is just it's like I'm saying, this is gonna remind us about how wide open the Big 12 is, because there are multiple teams who could still make a run for the Big 12. Baylor can still make a run. TCU can still make a run. I know Baylor's got a couple losses, but they can still make a run. There's multiple teams who can still make a run. Texas Tech, Arizona State, like Utah. Like, there's so many teams in the Big 12 who can make a run. That's why it's the most fun conference to watch, because it's the most wide open. In this game, though, I think BYU is going to win it. It's going to be a very close game, come down to the end, maybe a last-second field goal here for BYU. I think they win by 2 here, but I'm going to take BYU money line here. I think money line for BYU is free money. So I got BYU here by 2. All right, it's going to be a quicker show. We're going to wrap NFL. Giants at Eagles. Giants at Eagles. Spread is Eagles -7, over under 43.5. The Eagles are coming off of a huge win against the Vikings, where they seem like they get everything back on track. You get the passing game back on track with Jalen Hurts. So one thing you got to figure out is the run game. Saquon has not really looked like himself. I don't think I'm the only one saying that. He really just hasn't, and he needs to fix some things. But you're coming off a game where Jalen Hurts played his ass off, and he threw the ball incredibly well. But you're playing against the one of the only teams that have beaten you this season, and this team beat the shit out of you in the New York Giants. Jackson Dart, the rookie quarterback, he's completed 65% of his passes for 313 yards and 3 total touchdowns, with 2 interceptions, along with 109 rushing yards and 1 rush touchdown. He's right now clear and obvious the one of the front runners for offensive rookie of the year. Emeka Buka, though, does have a step up on him right now, in my opinion. But you also have Cam Scatterbo, who's been playing great as well. And when he played this Eagles team a couple weeks ago, he had his way with that defense. He destroyed them. He was running all over them. I think it's going to be a really fun game. Eagles are 4-3 against the spread this season and 0-2 against the spread as a 7+ point favorite. The Giants are also 4-3 against the spread this season, and they are 2-0 against the spread as a 7-point underdog. Over under, the Eagles overs have 4 overs in 7 games this season, and the Giants have 3 overs in 7 games this season as well. Home underdogs are of 17 plus points are 18-1-2 against the spread this season. So I like that. I'm going to take the Giants, but I think the Eagles win this game. I think the Eagles are going to get back on track, and I think they're going to get back on track because, look, you didn't lose against the Giants not that long ago. So this is all right, let's make a statement win this game, right? And then you already have Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter back, the guys who were not playing in that game the last time he played the Giants. I think they're going to go out, and I think they're going to kick the shit out of them. In the first half, though. In the first half, I think the Giants are going to make a comeback, make it a very close game. But I think the Eagles are going to eventually pull out the win and win this game against the Giants. But look, I like this over here at 43.5. I think we're going to see some points scored in this game. If the Giants want to win this game, that pass rush has to be effective. The pass rush has to get to Jalen Hurts and make him run, which he can run. He's a very good runner, but he showed last week that if he sits in the pocket, he can still tear a defense apart. And the secondary for the Giants has looked a lot better in the past couple weeks. But the Eagles still have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And when they want to lock in, they are 2 of some of the best receivers in the NFL for sure. So I've got the Eagles winning this game. We got the over at 43.5. Next game, Cowboys at Broncos. Broncos are a 3.5 point favorite. The over-under is 50.5. I like the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. The Broncos are 1-3 against the spread as a 3.5 point favorite this season. The Cowboys are 2-0 against the spread as a 3.5 point underdog this season. The Broncos are on a 4-game winning streak. One of the top defenses in the NFL. They're ranked 6th nationally in passing defense, averaging only 180 yards per game, and 9th in rushing defense, averaging only 93 yards per game. Offensively, we rely on this balanced attack, and it hasn't really been balanced lately because it's been games where we have been getting in trouble early, and we had to just relying to throw the ball like crazy. I said it last night, so I'm not going to go off on it again. Sean Payton needs to fix the play calling. If he can fix his play calling, we can play great against this Cowboys team. And I think we can win this game because, look, I think this game is going to come down to who can outscore who and who has the better defense who can get you a stop when you need it. The Broncos have a better defense, without a doubt. But the Cowboys have a very good offense. I said it. I've been saying it a lot. Dak Prescott is playing at an elite MVP level, and he seems like he's just getting better and better each week. And now with CeeDee Lamb back, pairing him with George Pickens, who has been playing out of his mind this year, and Javonte Williams, this is a revenge game for Javonte Williams. He was at the Broncos, and then they released him. This is a bigger game than what people are talking about. This is the game of the week, in my opinion. I am nervous for how Riley Moss is going to handle going up against either CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens, because I think he's going to get his lunch eaten either guy he goes up against because he's been struggling. But that's not the biggest of the Broncos' concerns. The biggest is getting the offense to start off hot, and I think in this game they do. I think they get they take the handcuffs off of Bo, and they get the offense playing fast and throwing the ball downfield early. I think the Broncos win this game. This is going to be a close game again. I'm thinking 3-point win. They'll cover that spread at 2.5. Or is it 3.5? No, they aren't going to cover the spread. So Cowboys are going to cover the spread with a half point. 3.5. Take the over. It's going to be a lot of points, but I've got the Broncos winning this one, of course. All right, last game. Green Bay. Here, I got some other stats to back it up. Bo has completed 65% of his passes for 313 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 109 rushing yards with 1 rushing touchdown. That's just not correct. We're gonna get right past this. These are not accurate. Not accurate. I don't know where ESPN is getting these facts from. There's no shot that's accurate. All right, next game. Packers at Steelers. Green Bay is a 3-point favorite at Pittsburgh. Over-under is 44.5. This is the coming home game. It's not the coming home game. It's the, hey, senior X across the field, Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. I'm excited for this game. This is going to be a really fun game. Green Bay Packers are coming off a 26-23 victory in Arizona where it was kind of a hard-fought one. Jordan Love's been really efficient this year with 68.5% completion percentage and 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Christian Watson, he's not even playing. ESPN, shut up. Micah Parsons has been pretty dominant this year. He's got 8 sacks on the season. And Rashawn Gary has been very good in the defensive pass rush as well. The person who is not getting all the talk that the Packers should is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is one of the dark horses for running back of the year, and he's playing exceptional ball, and he's playing better and better each week. He's very effective in the run game, obviously, but then in the pass game, in the short game, he is really effective and can get you the yards you need because he is great at catching the ball and is a great route runner as well, honestly, out of the backfield. But you're playing a Pittsburgh Steelers team who their offense is playing a lot better. Against the Bengals in that last Thursday night game, Aaron Rodgers completed 23 of 34 passes for 4 touchdowns, and he had 2 interceptions, but we saw vintage Aaron Rodgers in this game. Calvin Austin, he's going to return back in this game from injury. It's going to help their receivers a lot because who they really have been going to is DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth, Roman Wilson. Like you haven't had a ton of guys to really, rely on that much. And Calvin Austin's been a guy that, from the start of the season was a guy that Aaron Rodgers was clicking with for sure. Defensively, TJ Watt, he's a beast. TJ Watt leads the defense with 6 sacks and 2 forced fumbles already. This defense is always going to be good because you always have to worry what TJ Watt is going to do. And you also have Alex Highsmith on the other side of the field too. Has been playing great as well. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this game because, the Packers have been playing good football and they have a great, talented roster, but they haven't impressed me. The only game that they won that impressed me was the Lions game. That was the first game of the season, so that really doesn't hold any weight with me. I am all in on the Steelers right now. If they can fix some things on defense, like in that second half against the Bengals, they didn't really fix anything. No adjustments were made. This team this team is a very good team. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but you got to fix some things on the defense. But the offense, what we saw last week was a very good offense, a vintage Aaron Rodgers, and I think we'll see that again this week. And I also think we'll see running the ball too. Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell have been a really good tandem backfield to have. And look, who's the cornerback that's going to go up against DK Metcalf? I don't know who. So I think you throw it to DK Metcalf every single play. I think DK Metcalf is going to have a great game. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers win this game, and I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch on Sunday night. All right, guys, that is the episode. Gave out the picks, did the preview. I appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate everybody watching on YouTube. I have an Instagram account. I talked about it. Give that bad boy a follow. The username is yard_by_yard1. Go ahead and give it a follow. We're going to be getting some clips going soon, and I'm excited to see where this goes from there. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. As always, have a great weekend and enjoy the football.